I'm here with Michelle Redfern, who's the founder of Advancing Women. Thank you for joining us today, Michelle.
My pleasure.
We're going to be talking about the importance of creating those strong professional networks. Now, this is something I think you've got a lot of experience in. Michelle is amazing at working those networks and connecting people. So can you tell us a bit about why it's important?
Yeah, and I am good at it because it's a natural strength of mine. I'm a natural connector, and I do like seeing the right people having the right conversation at the right time in the right place. Why is it important, particularly for women on maternity leave? There's a great amount of isolation, even with social media, technology, etc. It can be a very isolating period. It's also a time when identity shifts happen, and women are, particularly in their first lot of parental leave, maybe thinking, right, who am I now, and what's my identity? Being able to keep a very active social network and a very active professional network doesn't mean having to attend networking events 2 or 3 times a week. What it does mean is putting a bit of effort in, thinking about generosity, reciprocity, and keeping your professional skills alive by surrounding yourself with the right people. It's a very, very long way of saying stay active, find the tools that work for you, find the methods that work for you, but you've got to plan it. And just like, and I know little people don't often run to schedule, and we can have lots of plans. I wish I had $10 for every time I worked with a woman who said, right, so when I'm on maternity leave, I'm going to do my MBA. I go, oh, right, that'll be good. Excellent. More
Big
power
plans.
to you. More
Big
power
plans.
to you if you can. So, but the bottom line is plan what you want, and then have quite literally a calendar about how you're going to go about it.
Yeah, wow. So your advice is to actually really properly plan it, almost like have a content plan. So how would you go about that? And what does that look like?
Well, I think it depends on what the woman actually wants. I would suggest that by maintaining... So there's 2 elements. There's one, maintaining contact with people that matter to me, my professional advancement, my network, and that will be about whether it's contact in person, via telephone, via social media, whatever that may be. The second part is maintaining your brand and maintaining your professional and digital identity, and that's a nuanced quite differently to the other one. So in terms of maintaining contact with the humans that matter to you, that's what you've got to have a plan, because it can be too easy to get 2 or 3 months down the track and think, wow, I haven't had a social outing that isn't about these beautiful little people I'm looking after anymore, or I haven't talked about business, or I haven't talked about politics, or whatever floats your boat, but I haven't had a conversation that's purely and utterly about me or what I'm interested in. So I would suggest that when women make that plan, they say, right, well, how much... It's like a budget. How much am I going to budget every week, every fortnight, every month, whatever it may be? And, even 1 hour a month can get away from you if you don't lock it in. Yeah. So my suggestion is whatever way you manage your time, is whether it's written on a calendar, in a diary, on your iPhone or whatever device you use, put something in to remind you to say, I want 1 hour to myself this month to maintain my business and professional network.
Yeah, that's great advice. And so at a practical level, women, especially with small children, you're pretty time poor. So I think I like the idea of sort of setting out an hour of your time. What are some practical tools that people can use to achieve those things?
Well, I think the most practical tool, so I always look back and I think, gee, when I was on maternity leave, I wish that social media had been around. The internet wasn't even around then, I'm now declaring my age, but anyway. So using things like, if I want to stay across what's happening in my industry and with my professional network, LinkedIn is a great tool. So, and I use LinkedIn and Twitter from a business perspective as a news aggregator, as a way of staying in touch with people, been posting my thoughts about a whole bunch of things, and depending on a woman's level of interest in doing that, she can either receive a lot of information, post a lot of information, or somewhere in between. But ultimately what that's going to do is maintain her presence, so that she sort of hasn't disappeared into the sometimes what we call the black hole of maternity leave.
It's a great way of kind of, I guess, staying top of mind, isn't it, really? Because there's that sort of feeling when you go on maternity leave, you feel like you're a bit out of sight, out of mind. So
absolutely.
Practical ways to actually, maintain your reputation, build your personal brand, I think is an excellent idea. So in terms of when women should be doing this, if I, hypothetically speaking, if I just found out I'm pregnant, when should I start to sort of put this plan in place? Is it, if I'm on leave, or should I sort of start getting into the swing of it before I kind of go on leave? When would you recommend?
Well, I would say to women all the time.
Yeah.
So your brand, and look, I don't work particularly in personal brand, but I certainly work with women around their visibility and their presence, and to advance them in business. And to do that, irrespective of what stage of life you're at, you need to maintain your identity and not fall into the out of sight, out of mind. One of the opportunities that women have, and I really don't like saying you should, because no one should live a shouldy life, but one of the opportunities is for women to start practicing while they're on maternity leave about how they might want to build their brand, their digital brand, their presence, and their visibility outside of the confines of the role that they occupied. So they may start, and I always say, if once you start being active on a professional network like LinkedIn or Twitter, work out what your 2 or 3 core pillars are, your platform or your purpose, whatever it may be, and stick to that. So for me, easy. Gender equality, business smarts for women, that kind of stuff. So all of my content, my posts, my thoughts, my ramblings, anything I might do are all anchored in my 2 or 3 pillars that I'm passionate about. So people will generally know pretty quickly what you stand for. Yeah. So I think work out what you're interested in, what you stand for, what you're good at, and just start working your social media network like that.
Fantastic. Well, it's been great talking to you today, Michelle. As always, some fabulous advice. So thank you very much.
My pleasure.